Have yourself a merry little podcast. Yes, everybody, yes, welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a can of seltzer water. And I'm your host, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here, as always, by Queen of Forgetfulness this week, Kat Halstead, the author.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we're recording later on in the day today. I had a brush with death. I had a slight brush with death. We had to postpone a few hours. But we're back. We're back to talking about classic TV and other television-related events, I think.
Something, I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Kat got a hot text message from me this morning saying that I broke out in hives, knocking on heaven's door.
And I'm just like, Benadryl.
I did take Benadryl, but I couldn't find it. And I was like,
Good.
shit.
Oh,
These hives are going to consume me, and I'm going to be one gigantic hive.
I mean, to be fair, you could, if you had Tylenol PM, you could have just taken that. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that is true. However, I think the culprit is this, I bought a different kind of like facial moisturizer.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was cheaper. It was the same brand. It was Neutrogena. Shout out to Neutrogena, friend of Patrick. But not friend of Patrick last night when I put it on. And I woke up in the middle of the night and like, my face was itchy, and then I just kept, like, spreading.
Ooh.
And then when I woke up this morning and looked in the mirror, I looked like a fucking, I don't know, Hellboy? Maybe Hellboy or something.
God.
Not a fun morning, girl.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun at all.
No, but I prevailed. My face is still a little itchy, but hey.
You're still here. You survived. You're a survivor.
I'm like Gloria Gaynor. I will survive. At first I was afraid. I was petrified. All right. What are we doing today? What classic television series are we dipping into for the first time ever?
We are dipping into one of our childhood favorites.
Yeah.
We are checking in with the Jetsons.
Yeah, we're going into the past to go to the future. And little known facts about the show. So the show was only on for one season initially, then like was on like reruns forever, then like revived for like 2 seasons in the 80s, which I just thought this all like took place at the same time. Like
I never would have known. Like if you hadn't told me, you're lying.
The first season's only like 33 episodes. Mm-hmm. Rosie's only in like 1 episode. She's in like the first one.
Which is crazy to me because it's Rosie.
But they insert her like on like the title cards and stuff, I think, but they made the title cards in like the 80s, I think.
Yeah, I think that because you get Orbity or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Orbity, that little like alien that from the moon.
Yeah.
Lived in a moon. Was it like Elroy thought he was a moon rock?
So you get him in the title cards too.
Yeah, he's like dangling off the car.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. One of my favorite cartoons because of the sound effects. I love like the sound that the doorbell makes when people ring the doorbell. The little car noise. There's just so many great noises in this.
Yes.
Fucking wonderful. It's great. All right. What episode did we decide to watch tonight?
Oh, crap. I forgot what it was called.
What?
I didn't even pay attention to, like, the title. I just went by what description you used for it when we picked it.
All right. Well, luckily I got it. Luckily I'm actually prepared. I'm not over here, like, peeling stickers off paper.
Sorry.
Making background noise.
Hey.
Tonight.
You need my background noise. You love my background noise. My ASMR.
You got, like, peeling paper, and I got, like, a dog grunting over here, so I guess it evens out. So if this is the podcast which you want to hear 2 people talk about television and listen to a fucking grown-ass woman peel stickers off paper and a fucking snoring dog, then you're in fucking luck. That's all I gotta say, girl. All right, tonight we are going on a Jetsons night out. Yeah, a whole night out with the Jetsons. Well, mostly just George.
Woohoo!
So this episode originally aired on Sunday. Yes, it was a Sunday. It all happened on a Sunday, October 7th, 1962. Yeah. Where were you? Where were you, girl? What were you doing this weekend?
In 1962, we were far from being alive. We weren't even glimmers in our parents' eyes.
No. My dad was just a child. And I don't know. He was probably watching this. He could have been watching this.
Yeah, our parents were probably watching this.
Maybe they got to stay up late to watch the Jetsons on ABC at 7:30. Yeah, this was a 7:30 night, 7:30 time slot.
Ooh.
Yeah, it kicked off the night on ABC, and according to my hot TV data, I couldn't find anything else that aired on ABC, but I do have the Tiffany Network.
Okay.
The Tiffany Network is a pretty hot night. You ready for a hot night on over at CBS?
Hit me with it.
At 7 p.m., a whole half hour before the Jetsons, we get to spend the night with Lassie.
Wow.
Yes, the American television series that follows the adventures of a female rough collie dog named Lassie and her companions, both human and animal. And the show was the creation of producer Robert Maxwell and animal trainer Rudd Weatherwax. Shout out to that last name, Weatherwax.
Yeah.
And it was televised. Hold on. This show was on from September 12th, 1954, all the way to March 25th, 1973. Did you know that? Did you know it was on that fucking long?
Patrick, this is going to bring up something that you don't like to talk about or think about.
What's that?
That dog did not live that long. How many damn Lassies were there?
There was like a total of like 6 or 7, I think.
Wow, that's a lot of Lassies.
Yeah, that's a lot of bitches. That's a lot of bitches. That's all I gotta say. And hold on. I literally just found out as I was doing research on this that Lassie was a female dog. Did you know that?
Yeah?
I don't know.
You didn't know that? I'm pretty sure Rin Tin Tin was a female dog too.
What?
Yeah.
Next thing you're gonna tell me that Turner and Hooch, the dog from Turner and Hooch, was a female?
I do not know about that, my dear.
I'm pretty sure that dog had testicles. I vaguely remember seeing testicles in that movie.
I mean, let's be real, that doesn't always mean anything in today's day and age.
That is true. Maybe that dog identifies as a female. Maybe Hooch. Is it Hooch? Is Hooch the dog?
You know what? I don't know. That's like one of the few Tom Hanks movies from that era I haven't seen.
All right, well, it's a great movie, but don't watch it unless you want to fucking cry for like 8 hours.
That's the last thing I feel like doing.
Spoiler alert, the dog gets shot and dies.
Oh my god!
Saving Tom Hanks' life. So the dog jumps in front of the bullet.
Oh, he saved Tom Hanks' life.
Saves Tom Hanks. Then Tom Hanks, it's like 9 months later, he comes home and he finds out that Hooch has impregnated like a nearby dog, and I don't know, there's like Hooch Jr. But little known fact, that ending where Tom Hanks comes home and finds like the Hooch puppies, that was like a tacked on ending because like the original like test audience were fucking mortified. They were fucking mortified by the end. And all right.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing this like movie when I was like a little kid, and I remember loving it. That was like the last time I ever saw it. It was on Netflix like 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
And I watched it before bed one night, and I was like up all fucking night, fucking bawling my eyes out over fucking Hooch getting shot.
Oh my god.
They ever remake that movie, fucking Let the Dog Live, girl. Shoot Tom Hanks. Fucking shoot Tom Hanks.
Oh my gosh. That took a turn.
I love Tom Hanks, but I love Hooch. Hooch more. All right, you ready for CBS 7:30? You ready to hear what's opposite the Jetsons?
Yeah, what was up against the Jetsons?
All right. This is wild. We've done this before, and this is one of the reasons why the Jetsons was canceled, because it was getting pummeled in the ratings by Dennis the Menace.
Oh my god, that's a blast from the past.
Our favorite fucking whiny ass child who like, I don't know, fucking paints fences that he's not supposed to paint, or fucking goes to sneaks out of his house and goes to the movies. What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, does some wild stuff.
He's got to go watch that Western.
Leaves back doors open so like, I don't know, dogs can get in Mr. fucking Wilson's house.
Tricks the kid to sleep in his bed, and the babysitter doesn't know any better.
Yeah, Joey. Shout out to the neighbor Joey and Margaret, the EU girl from around the corner. Mm-hmm. We have to go back into that world. Dennis Menace is such a fucking fun, mischievous show. Fun times. We have a little gap in the schedule, so CBS 9 o'clock. Do you have any guesses? Any guesses what might have been on in 1962?
I don't know. Gunsmoke?
No. Oh, kind of close though. The Real McCoys.
Okay.
I've never seen this, but I know it's about like some like hill folk from West Virginia, and they move to, I don't know, California or something, and they live on a farm or something. I forget.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really care. All right, you ready for CBS 9:30?
Yeah.
All right, this is a show I've never heard of before. General Electric presents True. Do you know this?
I have no clue what this could be about.
This was like an anthology series. Every episode was based on an article from True magazine, which I think just like published like nonfiction stories.
Oh, I remember magazines like those. You get those at the grocery store, and they like have the most ridiculous stories.
Yeah, like maybe about like a story about like a boy getting lost in the woods and finds his way home or something, or like I don't know, like someone survives like a bear attack. They're always like wild stories.
Yeah, they're always like, wait, what?
General Electric and the Tiffany Network teamed up in 1962 to I don't know bring us a television series based on that. And I guess I saw Gene Roddenberry did some episodes. He went on to create Star Trek, all the other Star Trek related things. Actually, I think he just made the regular one.
Okay.
You ready for CBS 1030?
Yes. What's up 10:30?
What's my line? Oh yeah.
Is that like whose line is it anyways?
Not quite, but it's sort of. It's like a long-running panel show in which a celebrity panel question members of the general public and they have to try to like guess their job.
Okay.
It's kind of like 20 questions, I guess, and you know, the person comes in, like he whispers into the host series like, I'm a mailman. And then the fucking like the celebrity guests are like, do you have to do a lot of walking in your job? And they're like, yes. It's just questions like that. This was like the kind of like late night programming they had back on in the heyday of television.
Oh wow.
All right, you ready to hop over to NBC? You want to end the night?
Yeah, what's over at NBC? What do we got going on over there at the Peacock?
All right, this was also opposite the Jetsons and was a contributor to its early demise. The Wonderful World of Disney.
Okay, yeah.
So tonight was part 2 of Escapade in Florence. Do you know this?
No.
This was a mystery and suspense story starring Annette Funicello and Tommy Kirk as they play students studying in the enchanting city of Florence, Italy. I don't know, they find themselves in like a weird like art caper. Like I guess like someone steals their artwork and I don't know, they're like chasing criminals around town or something. I remember seeing this.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever watched it, but I remember seeing like commercials for it, I think on like the Disney Channel at one point in time.
Oh yeah, probably way back in the day, like when the Disney Channel aired like all their old Magical World of Disney movies and stuff.
Yeah, can't wait to see if they'll show this on Disney Plus. Who knows? Maybe we'll have to do it.
Dude, I honestly, so I really hope Disney Plus, along with like all the cool like Marvel shows they're gonna put out and whatever, I really hope they like pull out the old school Magical World of Disney.
Yeah, they got like fucking like
movies, like
50 years of television to fucking play, girl.
Yeah,
maybe not that much, but quite a bit.
Good chunk, yeah, like pull that out or just pull out the archives. Make the old Mickey Mouse clubs all available. Even the one in the 70s that everybody forgets exists.
Oh, who was on it? Like David Cassidy or something?
I don't know. Like I don't think they had like a big name from it.
Oh, nobody went on. No one went on to form a boy band in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't think they had like a Carrie Russell or a Justin Timberlake or Britney Spears or Nikki DeLoach or anybody.
That's not where the Village People met on fucking
no.
The Mickey Mouse Club 1972 edition.
No.
All right. You ready for NBC 830? You ready to peacock it up?
Yeah, what's on there?
All right. One of my favorite old-timey sitcoms of all time, and I think like the first season's on Amazon Prime. Car 54, Where Are You?
Okay.
Yeah, you have a...
Okay.
I think I was shocked to find out that you said you've never watched this before.
Yeah, I've never watched it.
Oh, my goodness. It's got a fucking great cast.
Ever.
The dad from the Munsters is on it. Grandpa Al Lewis shows up in a few episodes. And it's just like fun hijinks. It was actually filmed in Brooklyn, and they actually do they do a lot of outside work in the show. It's great, and it kind of reminds me of like an old timey like Brooklyn Nine-Nine in a way.
Like one day I will check it out because I love me some Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
And there's a weird fucking episode that I guess. It aired about a year before the JFK assassination, and then there's an episode in which I was going to say Herman Munster, but the Herman Munster actor is assigned the role of like escorting the president. And there's this like weird I don't know, some like weird like news gets out that there's going to be like there might be like an assassination attempt. So it's kind of fucking creepy if you watch it because it's very like eerily similar to like what actually transpired in the real world. So. Oh, really? Yeah, hot episode. It is a funny episode. I mean, the president's not in it, but we get to meet a Secret Service agent. It's great. It's fun stuff. Nice. CBS 9. I mean, why do I keep saying CBS? Jesus Christ. What the fuck's wrong with me? I don't know, dude. All right. NBC, 9 o'clock. Earlier you said Gunsmoke. Not Gunsmoke, but Bonanza. Yeah, Bonanza.
Okay. Okay. Same thing.
I know. I always like those shows were just interchangeable to me. And I'm going to throw it out there. I've never actually watched any of them. Like, honestly, I don't think I could tell you the difference between the two if they were, like, on my TV and I didn't have a cable guide to tell me which one was which. Oh, like, we could play a game called, like, is this Gunsmoke or is this Bonanza?
And I would have no clue.
Maybe in next episode we'll have a fun new game show because I didn't prepare anything, but stay tuned. All right. And that's that wild night of television. What do you rate it?
It's an interesting night. I mean, there's a lot of things that we consider classics on.
Only like a few things that like I've never heard of. So I don't know. I guess a good night. So
yeah,
there were gaps in the schedule that I had. So there probably was like shit that
we've never heard of and
lost to the world.
We'll never find. But
I probably would have watched the Jetsons. I definitely would have dipped into Dennis the Menace. I probably would have done Wonderful World of Disney and Car 54. So I don't know. I would have a busy night.
Yeah.
Busy night.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see like what the family agreed to watch because you would have had to agree with your family.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
So
I guess Wonderful World of Disney was probably like I'm guessing was probably like the biggest hit of the night. That's
probably, yeah.
I gotta say, NBC did something right in the 60s.
You get Annette Funicello, people are gonna tune in.
They're gonna watch her go on a fucking caper through Florence, Italy, looking for her lost artwork or something.
Dude, if I find something with Annette Funicello on my TV, I'm watching it. And it's 2019, and I'm a 37-year-old woman, so yeah.
Yeah, R.I.P. Annette Funicello. R.I.P. Come back. Ouija board us?
Hell, I will even watch the movie Annette did with Lori Loughlin.
Whoa. Scandal. You mean you haven't fucking... Have you expunged Lori Loughlin from your memory? Are we allowed to watch?
You know, she's just in so much. She's in so much stuff that I watch.
I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there. I know, like, 2019 world is like, we're like a cancel society, but I don't know, I really don't care. Like, I really don't give a shit about this.
I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, why is anybody surprised?
I mean, it's been like about a month now since the news has dropped, and I'm still like, I still get like little like news clips pop up. I mean, it was kind of like ridiculous of her to like sign fucking like autographs like outside like the courthouse. That was pretty fucking stupid of her. But
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I'm still just like it's not like she killed somebody.
I know, she just tried to get her kids into college, even though her kid is like a spoiled little brat who didn't want to go to college.
I think like the biggest loser in this case is her fucking kids.
Because she like lost a bunch of brand deals and stuff she had from her little YouTube following.
Yeah, you know what? She should have just stuck with her fucking YouTube videos because bitch was making like fucking millions off that. So I don't know. Sephora, she could have just been a Sephora girl. She could have done some fucking eyeliner, a fucking lip gloss line. I don't know. What's she gonna do? Like, what the fuck is she gonna do now?
She's not prepared for anything. And if you think about it, that's what Lori was trying to prevent. She was trying to get her daughter prepared for the world.
Yeah.
Like, I actually kind of feel like Lori was just trying to get her daughter to, like, give a damn about the world outside of her little bubble.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, you know what? One day, like, you know, you're doing hot right now with all these YouTube videos, but one day that bubble's gonna pop. You're gonna have nothing to fall back on. You'll probably have fucking blown through all your money.
Yep.
Being a party girl. Going on fucking luxury liners in the fucking Pacific Ocean. Oh, wasn't she like on like a carnival cruise, like when the fucking...
She was on like one of the Board of Trustees boats.
Oh yeah,
like yachts when this all went down on a spring break trip with like other girls from her sorority or something.
You know what? I can't wait till this fucking like 10 years from now we get like the Ryan Murphy like American Crime Story.
Oh yeah, because you know it's coming because you get Felicity Huffman in this too, which is like another thing I love about this is because Felicity's like, okay, yeah, I plead guilty, but I'm gonna bring my brother to court with me, and everybody's like, did Felicity get a new man? It's like, really, people? Really?
I hope we get some fun, like, we get like flashback to like 2008. And it's Felicity Huffman's like hanging out with fucking Marsha Cross on the set of Desperate Housewives. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you know what, Marsha? I really want my kids to go to a good school. And they're like, yeah, so do I. And they're like, I would do anything for my kids to go to a good school. The prologue to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that behind the scene. Can't wait to see who plays them. That'll be great. Wild times.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
All right, but you ready? You ready to go to the future via the past?
Yes, I am. I'm so excited for this.
All right, so we selected the episode Jetsons Night Out. It's a fun episode in which George is supposed to go to a PTA meeting with Jane, the wife.
Yeah.
And there also just happens to be like a big football game on that he wanted to stay home and watch on TV. But
yeah,
hold on, Mr. fucking Spacely Sprocket, is that his name?
Or no, Mr. Spacely is his last name. Sprocket is the thing he makes.
Oh yeah, Cosmo Spacely, that's his name, Cosmo.
Yes,
yeah.
Cosmo Spacely.
Yeah, so Cosmo just happens to have an extra ticket and invites George, and now they have to go on like a weird like shenanigan where like they pretend that they're
He has. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Okay, so we got to start like how this thing starts.
Yes.
Before you like spoil the whole thing.
All right, so we get like kitchen corner. All right, the opening of this episode is like my favorite part of the whole episode. Like we get to see all like the fun little like feature gadgets. So
yeah.
So you told me, what did you say? This show takes place 100 years, like 2063 or something?
Yeah, 2062, somewhere in there. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be 2062 or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that the year is like never specified on the series. However, like the creators of the show, Hanna-Barbera, just said like that they just assumed it took place 100 years in the future, where the Earth was going. So like, we've abandoned the ground. We gave up on the ground.
Yes, we now live up in the sky.
We live in these like giant buildings that like stand on like two poles that are like extendable.
Yeah, you can just like push a button and you go up a few thousand more feet. But like, and then how do you know where the hell your apartment is?
I mean, I guess GPS, maybe GPS.
I don't know. Like, there's so much like stuff in here that has come to fruition, but then there's a bunch of stuff that hasn't either. So
I kind of want to talk about like the kitchen corner right here. So like Jane, the wife, in the future, women, in this future anyway, in this alternate reality, women still don't work. They still stay home and they do all the fucking housework. They really just push buttons is essentially what they do. Like they hit a button and breakfast is made.
Yeah, that's all Jane does is she pushes a button and like food appears.
When she doesn't want, like when she wants to clear the table, she fucking pushes a button and like this thing like crushes all the glass plates and rolls it into a little like trash receptacle. Girl's gotta be bored. Like Jane? Like what the fuck does Jane do all day?
What is like, yeah, and like she doesn't even do like half of it. She makes Judy do half of it, and then Judy's like, "Fine, I'll do the dishes," and pushes the button.
I love though. There is a scene though where like Judy is confused like as to what button to hit.
Yes, Judy's like, "I don't know what's going on," and it's like I was so confused though because Elroy went off to school and George was going to work and he was going to be late. Like they just finished breakfast and it was 2 minutes to 11.
There, all right. It's the future. Robots have taken over most of the job duties. They basically just have to go to work and like push buttons. So I think I remember reading somewhere that they essentially had like a 2-hour workday.
Not even like it was 2 hours a week that he had to work.
Yeah, he just had to get up like one day, go to work for like 2 hours, just make sure like all the buttons are being pressed. I guess I don't know.
Make sure the computer gets rebooted.
There we go.
The Windows installs or something. That kind of thing.
2-hour work week is the wave of the future. So I guess maybe that leaves like George and Jane have like a lot of adventure time maybe. Who knows? Who fucking knows?
I don't know what I would do with all that time off.
If everything is like controlled by machines and pressing buttons, like what's the point of the kids just like going to school then? Like what are they learning?
I think Elroy learns like astrophysics and stuff like that.
Oh, like maybe like space exploration is like the wave now, the wave of the future.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because so this show was on the 60s, and because the 60s iteration of the show was all like focused on like space exploration and the cosmos. By the time like the mid 80s reboot came around, it was like space is like not interested anymore, so they just like focused on like technology. Like computers were a new thing.
The computers are the phase of the future, and let's be real, they are. Like think of everything we have now that we didn't have in the 80s that are actually kind of works like the way they thought it would. Hello, you and I can actually see each other during like a phone call.
Yeah, which they do it like they did video calls in the show, and that must have been like a far out fucking idea.
Well, like, think about it. Like, remember, okay, this is, like, way back. Like, back in the 90s, MCI or something like that, or IBM, like, Sprint or somebody came out with those, video phones. And you would see them on, like, the real world San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Things have changed, man.
The future is now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, like, George wakes up, like, they're in the kitchen, he's late for work, they're hitting buttons, food's being made, being consumed, and destroyed, like, immediately. Elroy is, like, off to school. It's raining. I just want to point out that it's raining out.
Yeah.
Jane's like, oh, you can't go out without your raincoat. And she puts this, like, weird plunger thing over his face.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this, like, weird gelatin thing encompasses his whole body except for his face.
Yeah, like, he's just wrapped in plastic, and he says he feels like a banana.
Yeah, it reminded me of, like a body-sized fucking condom.
Yeah.
And then he goes into like the little like this tube, this little like the tubes they have at the bank.
Yeah.
And Jane just hits like the school button, but like before she hits the school button, she's like, Elroy, the school called and said you were late yesterday. Why were you late? And he was like, oh, Mom, they was gum stuck in the tubes.
That slows things down.
I don't know, like the whole tube thing fucking creeps me out because like there just must be tubes.
Like, could you imagine just like flying through the world in a tube? Oh my god.
Yeah, there just must be tubes everywhere.
That is scary.
And I gotta think, so there's gonna be, all right, this is a big house. Like this apartment building in the sky it's enormous. It's fucking big.
Yeah.
There's just gonna be tubes everywhere. And like, how do people not crash?
There's tubes all over the place.
How do people not crash into each other? How do people like they must like connect at one point and become like one giant tube? I don't know. Like you never really see where the tubes go. They just get in the tube and they disappear.
Yeah, it's like on what's it called, Futurama. Like they still have the tube set thing there too.
Yeah, they do. But I think Futurama like focuses on it more. You see a bunch of tubes, but in the Jetsons, you just see the tubes like in the buildings.
Yeah,
but
like I'm sure there's a complex system, just like a train system or a road system or something, you know.
Well, I was thinking maybe the tube goes to like a bus stop that it goes to in that building,
or like there's a depot where you kind of like
end up at,
or like it has switches like on a railroad where it's like, oh, this, and you got like barcodes and sensors or something around your chair. You know? So
it knows like someone's coming and it stops?
Yeah, it knows someone's coming and it knows it's supposed to go left to the school instead of right to space sprockets or whatever.
Do you think you get like people that are afraid of small spaces?
Probably, but I mean, then you also have people in flying cars.
I don't know. And then like how do flying cars like not crash into the tubes? Like has that ever happened? I don't know. Just things I need to know.
I feel like the tube system is on a different level than where the cars fly.
Do you think like the tubes goes like a little lower down? Like it goes lower?
Yeah, I think the tubes are lower level and then the cars are a higher level.
We do see a platform though. There is like a weird platform because when George is on his way to work, he's in his little flying car and he runs out of gas pellets and he like crashes into this like this platform that's below him. And it wasn't the ground. It definitely was some kind of platform. So I got
no. It was like it was a platform that was like put up as the fuel station.
I wonder if like maybe the tubes like are connected with that. Maybe they're underneath that.
I mean, I think they're below that. Yeah.
So that they're covered. So like if a car does lose its fuel pellets, it'll crash into like the platform.
Yeah, and he only spent how much on gas? $2.
$2 to fill up.
$2.
$2. They put these weird little pellets in there. I'm surprised like they didn't like in this world they didn't think of using solar technology or like a battery. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like maybe like batteries just must not have existed in 1962. I don't know.
They existed.
I don't think I really know that. I don't think I really know the history of batteries. I've never like looked into it.
Batteries have existed for a while, huh?
Do you want to do battery corner?
1800.
It looks fucking wild though.
Yeah, it does.
Well, all right. So like there's different versions.
1780.
Like when did the modern day like a fucking Energizer battery? 1955. In the late 1950s, the zinc carbon battery was replaced by the common alkaline battery. So yeah. There we go.
There you go.
And then now we have like the lithium and lithium ion. So
yeah,
times have changed, Carol. Times have changed.
But they sure have. All
right. Shall we talk about this weird scene just before George leaves for work? He gets the newspaper, and it's like a little like disc that he puts into like a TV set, like a miniaturized TV set.
Yeah.
And it's basically just like a laptop computer, essentially. And he's reading the news, and he sees an ad for a movie that's playing that night. And it's like a striptease that comes up on the screen.
Or like it's a show, it's like some kind of new show that's opening. Can't take the kids to that one. And then he keeps watching the video.
Well, he puts his hand over the screen for a second, because I think like the kids are still in the house for a minute at this moment of time. So I was like, whoa, fucking George.
Whoa, Georgie, whoa.
Whoa, George has got a little kinky side to him. Who knew? All right, you want to get into the bread and butter of the episode? An hour later, now we're finally through Kitchen Corner.
George gets to work after he's like stopped to get his $2 worth of fuel pellets. And it's 11:07. And he like goes to set the clock back to like 10:59 so he's not like late clocking in. And that just like made me laugh, like that they would still have that kind of system set up. Cause like, I don't know how you clock in at work, but I clock in via a computer, like via a website that's like, websites like off-site, like different company than my company, but so they have like the times there. You can't like change the time on your computer to change the time on the clock.
Yeah, it's like an old-fashioned clock. Like you just push the dial back a little bit. But he does that he does that, and this like floating camera arrives, like a droid shows up, and he like takes a picture of him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know, it's like saved, the picture's like saved on the little flying camera. So George is now chasing it because it's going to like report him to Mr. Spacely.
Yeah, it's all like, it's going straight to Spacely.
He like accidentally like runs into Spacely's office, and Cosmo's like, Jetson, you're late.
Yep.
He's like about to fire him or something, but instead he's like, you know what, you gotta work on like the whatever project. So he goes like back to his office for a minute. But then Cosmo calls him back in. That's when he gets like a phone call from...
No. Okay, so Cosmo's like about to like fire Jetson, but then his wife calls. So like Jetson goes back to like his desk and his computer. Okay, and then like Spacely's wife or whatever is like, oh yeah, we have tickets for the opera or ballet or something like that tonight. And like Cosmo's like, wait, what? No. He's like, I can't do that. And he's like has to come up with this plan on the fly to like get out of going to this concert and be able to go to his football game.
Yes. So he calls George back over because I guess George is the only person who works there, apparently.
Probably. Like, let's be real. I think George is like the only other human being that works there.
Yeah, like maybe like someone comes in every 2 hours.
Or stuff. Like, stuff that's going on, he decides George is the man. Like, George is the guy he's going to use to get out of this, and he's the one he's going to take to this game.
So he calls George back over, and they're on like the video phone with Mrs. Spacely. And Cosmo tells his wife, he's like, I really would love to go to the opera, but my top employee right here, Mr. Jetson, is not feeling well. I just want to take him home and take care of him, which is really weird, but I'm going to take him home, I can take care of him, and I'm
the only one who could take care of him.
Yeah, so Mrs. Spacely's like, oh, that's so noble of you, that's very, very noble of you, wow, I'm so happy for you. They disconnect the call, and they're like, yes, like we finally got rid of like the wives, now we can go out that night. I think, and George has like a weird conversation with Jane too, like.
Yeah, George was like, I'm gonna work late because, I think George doesn't even actually call and actually video chat with her. He sets up a thing later so that when she calls to see if he's still going to the meeting, it's like, sorry, honey, I have to work late. And it's just like this standy, like, face of George, like this cardboard cutout, and like a record playing.
Yeah, behind the cardboard cutout? Yeah. Mr. Spacely and George, they decide they're gonna go to like the football game. However, Mrs. Spacely calls back and she's like, oh, I've just been thinking about that poor sick man and I don't want you to have to take care of him all by himself. So, you know what, I'm going to swing by the Jetsons' house. I'm going to come by with some soup or something. I don't fucking know what she says.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to come help you.
They're like, oh shit. So now they have to like race back to the Jetsons' house.
Yeah, they got to race back and like they practically run the poor woman over on the way there.
Yeah, they fly over her. They like fly over her car. They get there, and like George is like laying in the bed, and she comes in, and like they go, "Oh, we got it under control." And she's like, "All right, it's just I feel so bad that you're missing the opera or something." They leave from there to go to the football game, and I think that's when Jane comes home and calls the office.
Yeah,
and then she gets like a weird. Does Mrs. Spacely call back to the Jetsons' house? Like she calls?
No. Mrs. Spacely comes over.
Again, right?
Yes, she comes over again. Okay, so the guys are at the game. They're there, and they got their nice little private box, which is just the two of them. Jade's watching the game because she's back for the PTA meeting. She doesn't even have the sound on. She's not really paying attention to it. I mean, it's just a bunch of robots running around a field.
Let's be real, that's what football is in the future.
Yeah, it's just robots. And she's watching it. Mrs. Spacely shows up, and she's all like, oh, I thought George was sick, yada, 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 And Jane's like, well, I thought he was working late. Let me call the office. And she calls again, and the same freaking message starts playing, and then starts skipping.
She's now like, where are they? And then Mrs. Spacely's like, look on the TV, it's the husbands. And they're like having a fun time.
Yeah, they're on the TV, and it's like this giant screen TV. It's amazing.
Like the room-sized TV?
Yeah.
It's great. So now they're fucking bullshit. They're pissed.
Yeah.
They're upset.
But what the ladies don't know is that the guys have won a mink jacket.
Yeah, I guess there's like a raffle. They call like out the numbers, and they call... It's actually, George has the ticket.
Yeah, it's George's seat. but basically bought the tickets. So the guys like come up with a compromise and decide they're gonna like cut the jacket from like a long coat into like a shorter jacket and a mink stole.
And that's what they use to soften over the wives when the wives, because they for some reason they both go to the Jetson, Spacely and Mr. Jetson. They go back to the Jetson house.
Yeah.
And they're not expecting to see the wives like both there, and they answer the door and they're like,
oh fuck.
They're like bonking them over the head with stuff, and they're like, oh no, shit. Like, well, we had to go to the game because we knew that we were gonna win this this beautiful mink coat and like mink scarf.
Stole. It's a stole. It's like an arm wrap. It's like a wrap.
Okay, this wrap. Even in the future, they fucking still fucking cut animals apart to make fucking coats.
Okay, to be fair, this episode is from the 60s.
I know.
And it was very much in fashion. And even if it had been like a 1983 episode, it probably still would have happened because that was right before the whole fur is murder thing.
Yeah.
And listen, if you have a nice fur coat, you take care of it.
I don't know. It begins to make me think about the animals that live on the ground below. Because I really want to get into what's below. What's below the Jetsons?
What's below the Jetsons?
Yeah, what lies beneath?
So, hold on. We got to finish up with the women and the jackets in the stole. So, like, the women are like, oh, thank you. And then, like, the guys think they're in the clear. They think they're good. They think they're golden. Not exactly, because the wives are like, oh, I need new shoes to go with this. I need a new dress. We're going to have to go someplace fancy now. So the guys are just fucked over.
And I'm Spacely's pissed again. He's like, Jetson, you're fired! From like the vice president job that he just promoted to him immediately, right then and there.
Yeah.
But what's below the Jetsons? What lies beneath?
I think she's starting to suspect something. Your wife.
So there's so many theories, but like my favorite theory is it's actually the Flintstones world below them.
Yeah, so I guess some kind of apocalyptic event occurred, pretty much wiped out most of the human race, most of their technology, all of their industrial revolution and everything. Everything's wiped out. A few survived, a few lone men survived, a few animals, and for some reason dinosaurs came back to life. Mm-hmm. You know what? Hold on. Maybe like another planet crashed into Earth that had dinosaurs on it.
Maybe.
And wiped out most of Earth. A few select dinosaurs lived. They repopulated the planet. A few men lived. They repopulated the planet. And they had to like start over from scratch. So they had to like reinvent the whale. They lost all their like newfangled technology. So now they just have to make everything out of stone. But they still had like culture because they had movies and entertainment and stuff. So they figured out a way to do that.
Exactly.
However,
it's like they still have all this stuff, but they're kind of like, it's just a very different like lifestyle than what you get with the Jetsons.
A part of me though believes, there was probably a few smart men that survived, a couple of geniuses. They probably like went underground. They kept some of their modern day technology. They probably kept their batteries and their automobiles and all of like computers and modern technology. And they worked together. They teamed up. They put everything on these giant poles and just built like a new future in the sky above the Flintstones. They were just too high up, or maybe they were on like a different continent. I don't know, like maybe they're just a different part of the world.
Yeah, like
the Flintstones couldn't travel. They couldn't get across. They couldn't get across the sea. They couldn't get across the pond, so to say.
Oh yeah, or something where like they're on the same planet, and it's the same time, but they're just living very different lifestyles.
However, to kind of go against this theory, there is an episode. I don't know if it's the '60s version or the '80s version, but they do show the ground one time. Mm-hmm. There's like a really like a homeless man, a very down on his luck, and it looks very, very like slummy down there. So there's other theories believe that like it's basically just like a dystopia on the ground.
Yeah.
They just abandoned the ground level and just, a few people are stuck down there and they're like, I don't know, killing each other for scraps and stuff. Who knows?
Something ridiculous like that, I'm sure.
I do like, though, we kind of just brushed over this, though, is that the apartment buildings are still below the clouds. So if it does rain, all they have to do is just like hit a button, they go above the clouds.
Yeah. All you have to do is ask your like building manager to like go above the rain.
I was thinking though, like what if like someone's like flying along and like on their little car, their little flying car, and the building came up and hit them?
Yeah, like there's no like actual roadways. Like how do you know where anything is? Like that's why I guess GPS or something would have to be involved to like know where you're going.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole future like makes me really nervous. I don't know why. Like traveling.
Like, why are we always flying in the sky?
Yeah, I don't know, because like you can just very casually leave the planet. Because I was watching an episode where Elroy goes to the moon for like a school trip.
I totally watched that one too.
I was just like, oh, like you're just gonna let your kid just go to the moon? All right, that's fine, or whatever.
Well, George went with him.
Yeah.
And then George got lost on the moon with Spacely's son.
Yeah, I mean, there are episodes too, like where they apparently like go to space, because I think like there's like a nightclub in outer space too.
Yeah.
They go to, because it's definitely like a darker place, unless it just happened to be nighttime. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. This whole
like they do leave the planet. They will leave the planet, and they'll go to like different places. Like in the movie, which is actually like the Jetsons movie, which is like supposed to be like the series finale. It's considered the series finale. Like that's when they move to a different planet, run like the Spacely factory there.
And Tiffany, famous singer Tiffany, voices Judy Jetson. Just want to put that out.
Yes, she sure does. And we get Judy singing.
Yeah, but as I said, this whole future like freaks me out. Like as you said, like how do you know how to get to places? Like there must be like maybe the cars are like they can only fly in certain zones. Maybe like I'm guessing there's maybe signs like floating cones that you fly through.
Yeah, there's got to be like some sort of directional.
Because there's traffic. Like, they're stuck in traffic in episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm always just like, how could you be in traffic? Can't you just, like, go below or above the traffic?
Yeah, like, there's some kind of, like, control that we just don't know about.
Maybe magnets? Magnets, maybe?
Magnets, maybe. I don't know.
So, like, the cars can't go rogue and, like, fly off and, like, smash into buildings and stuff?
Maybe.
Because, like, I was just thinking that, like, that's fucking, like, nerve-wracking to me. Just imagine you're just, like, chilling in your fucking apartment and, like, a out-of-control flying car just comes, like, smashing through your window.
Yeah.
Like, I know that can happen on the ground level, but, like, with cars, like, regular cars, but just, like, imagine being, like, it's, like, you live in the sky, there's flying cars, and flying cars can just go anywhere now.
We are going to have to wait another, 40-something years to find out?
I know, we'll be, like, 70.
Ugh.
I want to talk about some of some of the technology that are in here that kind of, so we have like talking wristwatches now. It's like the iWatch, the Apple Watch, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That's obviously come in. The little laptop computer type thing that George watches the news on, like, whoa, like that came to fruition.
Yes, we have dozens of items that can do that now.
And like pushing a button and getting food kind of reminds me of Amazon Prime.
Well, you know what, actually, though, it kind of reminds me of is like you go into a McDonald's now.
Yeah.
And you actually like you don't even have to go up to the counter. You go to like a push screen like
menu thing.
Menu, and you like order there, and it freaks me out because I still don't understand it.
Yeah, I went to because like
so I just go through the drive-through instead and talk to an actual human.
McDonald's like raised the like their minimum wage, but they just like fired everybody except for like 2 people.
Except for like the handful of people they need, yeah.
So now if you go into a McDonald's, you have to like order from like a touchscreen, and it's like you just want to like customize your order, and it's just so complicated.
Like I just get confused. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need like a tutorial.
Did you ever think, like, I always thought of myself as being like tech savvy. Now I'm like encountering these things in the real world that I just can't figure out, like self-checkout things and like how to like add a coupon to it and stuff.
See, I can do like self-checkout, but like I can't do like if I just like go into a restaurant, like I've never been there, or like they suddenly have this new technology, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Oh yeah, I was at an Olive Garden recently, and I had a gift card, an Olive Garden, so I wanted to pay with that, and then I wanted to put the rest on my debit card, and it was confusing. It was just like fucking hard to do. Like I just trying to do like 2 forms of payment. It was wild.
Shouldn't be that hard. You like do the one first and then the other, and it shouldn't be hard. But
it wasn't that easy though. I thought I could just do the gift card first because I knew like I'd have a balance after, and I thought I could just like do it for the rest.
Yeah.
And then I put my gift card in, and then it just like it finished the transaction, and I was like, I still owe money though.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I? And like I couldn't get back to my transaction. I had to call the guy over, and the guy was like even confused. He's like, I'll just do it.
Yeah, like. It's just weird.
I don't know if I'm ready for this future.
But if I had a machine that would just do like that, I could just put my dish down on the table and it would just like take care of like dirty dishes, I'd be thrilled.
It's kind of like a dishwasher, I guess.
It's sort of, but not.
I know.
You still gotta go load the dishwasher and you gotta rinse everything and all that stuff.
I will say that the way that Judy cleared the table in this episode by like hitting the button, it smashed all the dishes. That fucking angered me for some reason. I was like, what?
Yeah, that kind of like made me mad too. Like, why are you breaking all this stuff? Like, unless it gets like sorted back and like there's some part of the apartment building or apartment that puts it back together.
I mean, there could be. Like, I
don't know.
I thought of that. And then I remembered I was watching an episode of Mad Men many years ago, and there's an episode where the Drapers are on a picnic, and they're out in like this like beautiful woods, and they have all their food laid out on like the blanket, and it's like Don, Betty, and the kids, and they're done, and Betty just picks up the fucking blanket and just like tosses it and all like the dishes and all the food scraps go flying over into like the park, and they just like get into their car and drive off and just leave the trash everywhere.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, you know what? Like we were probably just like trashy people in the 60s, and I just feel like, you know, that's that mentality.
Guess so.
That they included in this episode of the Jetsons, because like we were just a wasteful society. Like
that's why they're living up in the clouds, because they destroyed the earth. Because
for a while, like, you know, like all our McDonald's fast food came in like styrofoam fucking containers.
Yeah.
And then I'm like thinking, like I'm thinking more on this, like, you know what? I bet you at like the bottom of the building that they live in, there's probably like a little like an opening that's like all the trash just falls down into earth.
Yeah, there's probably just like a trash heap at the bottom.
Yeah, and that kind of went back to like maybe like the ground level, just like this dystopia, and it's just like homeless people just like scavenging through the trash down there.
Yeah, it's probably just like piles and piles of trash.
You ready for a reboot, Coda? Do you want to hear my hot idea for a Jetsons reboot?
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. I want like a very dramatic Jetsons where it's the future. Jane just like becomes a super bored housewife, and she kind of turns into like Betty Draper, where she just bored with her life, and she's just getting drunk and fucking forgetting about her kids and riding fucking washing machines to get off. And George is just like a philanderer. He's just out on the fucking town every night. And
basically, you want the Jetsons to be Mad Men.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like I saw a lot of similarities. Like I don't know. I just got a sense that like we don't see Jane at home like by herself too often. Like the only time we ever see her by herself is just like her hitting a button.
Yeah.
And like her calling up George. And then it's like once they like fully introduce like Rosie into the series, like Rosie's doing all the work.
Yeah, Rosie's doing like most of the housework, she's doing most of the parenting.
And Jane's just watching like As the World Turns or whatever.
Yeah, something.
Watching soaps or fucking future Oprah.
It was probably soaps, because like talk shows weren't like that cool back in the day.
I wanted like just to see like the inner workings of like Jane Jetson. Like I don't know, like find her like diary or something and just like hear how miserable she is. And
The Secret Life of Jane Jetson.
Yeah, she's just fucking miserable. Maybe she has like a coke habit.
Oh, you're taking this way too far, boo.
What else? Like what else does she do? Like she doesn't have hobbies. Like there's one episode where she becomes like Miss Universe or something. It's very short lived.
That's true.
Like I think there are like a few episodes where they decide to give like Jane something to do. I think she like gets a job in one episode, but like the end of the episode, it's she's done with it.
Yeah.
Like there's a Simpsons episode that's like that when the Simpsons moved to like that like James Bond villain town.
Yeah, and Marge has nothing to do because all the technology does it for her. She sits around and drinks cooking wine.
Yeah, cooking wine. Not even like good wine. Cooking wine. I don't know. Part of me just wants that world. And I don't know. Hanna-Barbera Juniors, if you're out there, call us. We get some hot ideas. We want like a nice hot Jane Jetson. You know what? After January Jones is wrapped up with that figure skating show on Netflix, let's fucking dye our hair red. Let's dye our hair red and just fucking do a live action one. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
I could see Seth MacFarlane for some reason like doing a good Jetsons reboot.
Because he tried to do that thing with the Flintstones.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he had like good ideas for the Flintstones, and I don't know, like Fox just didn't go for it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It could have been a new show on Boomerang.
Yeah, we could be watching it right now. We could have a special, we'd cancel this podcast and just do a Seth MacFarlane Flintstones podcast.
No, that's not what we would do. Why are you always canceling us?
Trying to branch out, girl. Trying to branch out. All right.
And you've been trying to replace me with January Jones for a whole freaking year, you little shit.
Maybe you're sick one day. Maybe you have the flu. You have like a summer flu. You're out sick. So we have to do an episode this week, and I have no one else to do it. I'll just call up January Jones. She'll come by. She'll fly over. And we'll just, we'll go in my little recording studio. We'll just gab. We'll just gab for an hour about fucking, I don't know. We'll probably do something that you don't like. We'll actually do Doctor Who. We'll do Doctor Who with January Jones.
We're never going to do Doctor Who.
I don't know. You know what? Maybe our next April's Fool's episode is that we actually do Doctor Who. Who knows?
Yeah, no.
On a scale of 1 out of 5 condom rain jackets, how many condom rain jackets do you give this episode?
I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah. I'll give it a 3 too. Like mostly for the technology and just the funness of it.
Yeah.
This episode totally ripped off like the first episode of the Flintstones.
Yeah, it's
predated this.
Not like the best episode of the Jetsons either. It was just like a nice, fun little average episode.
Yeah, we got like the fun, like the husbands team up against the wives for like a fun night out shenanigans, and they have to like lie their way out of it, which
yeah.
I guess was just a big, that was like a big plot point, it seemed like, in the 60s. I don't know why.
Like, that's still like an easy little shenanigans type thing these days. So
yeah, when you're like, you can't think of something to write about, you got to do like, oh, the guys sneak out for the night, but they got to lie to the wives.
Yeah.
They got to lie to the missus. So I'll give it a 3, mostly for the technology.
Yeah.
Loses 2 points for unoriginality, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm excited about next week. I don't know about you, but I'm totally excited.
I am super excited for next week.
We're going back.
Because this is like one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, we're going back to a world. We've done it before. We did it for a Thanksgiving episode. It takes place in the NBC must-see TV universe of the 1990s.
Yes.
About a young couple, played by Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt, my gal pal. Definite gal pal.
My babies.
Yeah.
My Paul and Jamie babies.
Yeah, Paul and Jamie, they live together in a small, tiny New York apartment that is big enough to host a Thanksgiving dinner, apparently.
But barely. To be fair, barely.
But they go through the trials and tribulations of what it's like to be a married couple in their 30s. Are they in their 30s?
Yeah, they're like Jamie is in her like late 20s.
Oh.
At the start of the series, and then Paul is in his 30s.
Yeah, like Paul's like a struggling filmmaker. Jamie's like the money maker.
Yeah.
You get to see the ins and outs of their marriage and their friends and family and their in-laws and their dog Murray.
Yes, Murray.
And allegedly, there's a Mad About You reboot on the horizon. So who knows?
Apparently, it's only airing if you have like Spectrum cable, though.
I guess I'll have to be getting Spectrum. So, yeah, I'm sure it'll turn up somewhere. We'll find a copy.
Pat will find a copy.
We have our ways.
Pat must see Mad About You.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll send a hot DM to Helen Hunt. I'll slide in her DMs and be like, hey, girl, could you send me some video of that, some hot video of Mad About You reboot? I don't know. I have the whole Mad About You complete series on DVD, so we got the fucking world is our oyster, girl. We can do any episode we want.
So do I. We've both got the complete series.
Yeah, I bought it for like $30 at Walmart. It is like I will say though, it is like a shitty like transfer to DVD though. I don't know. It's not great quality.
But to be fair, fans waited a really long time to get any of it out on DVD.
The company that did this also did the another full series DVD that I bought, and the quality is like the same. It's like shitty, but it works. Whatever, I'll take it. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
It's better than trying to like track it down like reruns on FX.
Yeah.
So where can you follow us, Cat Halstead the author? Where can you follow our wild adventures?
You can follow us on Twitter at VeryPodcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. Don't accept imitations. You can find us on YouTube, Podcoin, iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Podcoin. So go to your favorite app store, download the Podcoin app, and use code VERYSPECIAL to earn 300 Podcoins. Yeah, Podcoins right off the bat. And what is it? It's a hot new app that literally pays you to listen to podcasts. You just listen to podcasts, earn some coins. You can redeem them for hot items like Amazon gift cards, so you can buy Mad About You on DVD. Yeah, so do it, girl, do it. Or feel a little extra, you can just donate it to charity. So take your pick. Take your pick, girl. And as always, girl,
bye.
Watch the skies for flying out of control Jetson cars that are going rogue. Yeah, they're going rogue. Oh, baby, watch out. Watch your back. Hide your wife. See ya.